Our last presentation of the Discovery track is from Rudy Ellis, who is the CEO of Switchboard Live, and Claudia Barbiero, who's the Director of Marketing at LiveU. They're going to be talking about how to expand your reach by increasing viewership with dynamic broadcast quality live streams across multiple streaming platforms.
Great, thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Hi, everybody. I'll stand up because you guys won't be able to see us over here. So yeah, I'm Claudia from LiveU, and this is Rudy from Switchboard Live. And we're going to share an actual case study today. But just before we get into that, we thought we'd set the stage and really talk about what we mean by creating dynamic live content and reaching a wider audience with that. So we're focused on the content acquisition side of the business with LiveU. So for us, it's all about helping you create that true engaging content by being able to unplug and move. In fact, I'll put it up there, and basically get in the middle of the action and actually start to have viewers feel like they're part of your live event and not being tied down by cables. And that's also being able to make sure that the quality stays consistent while you're moving around. And that's one of the key values of really making your live online content fantastic. But then there's the other aspect, which is you can produce great stuff, but then how are you ensuring that you're reaching your audience? With a lot of solutions out there today, you can either just go to one channel, or you have to go back to a production environment and incorporate switchers and really add another level of complexity to your online streams, unless you utilize some services such as what Switchboard Live does. And maybe I'll let Rudy talk a little bit about that sharing aspect.
Sure. Thanks, Claudia. So Switchboard Live is a platform that enables content creators, broadcasters, brands, entities that would typically stream to one platform, allowed to get a bigger reach, broader audience by syndicating that live stream to multiple destinations. So no need, just like Claudia mentioned, if if the intention is to send to maybe YouTube or Twitch or whatever the platform may be, our platform allows that one stream to be syndicated across multiple platforms, putting the content where the users are watching it. And so paired with a platform like LiveU enables the video to be acquired, and then in our platform from a syndication standpoint.
Yeah. So what we thought today is we'd actually share a case study of what Rudy and his team recently did for Playlist Live. Playlist Live is an online content creators user group conference where Rudy and his team had multiple LiveU field encoders, or LiveU Solo, to acquire content, and I'd like him to get into the complexity of covering that event, and then utilize some of the capabilities to distribute that to get a wider reach for people who couldn't attend the actual conference. So I'm going to sit down and let you get into
I'm gonna sit down as
the
well.
nitty-gritty.
So Playlist Live, if you guys haven't heard of it, think of it as the event where the top YouTubers, Instagrams, Viners, you name it, they all come to Orlando, Florida. They take over the Orlando World Marriott, one of the biggest Marriotts in the world. It's a 3-day event. So Friday is the business session, where they're talking about how to make it on YouTube, how to become a creator. And the cool thing about it is these creators now can interact with their fans. So fans from 12 to 18 or whatever it may be, take over this Orlando World Marriott. 15,000. Most of them are females, the young age, screaming down the hall every time you see this. But the cool thing about it is it enables them to do, meet and greets and the fans to be able to interact. And so this year at Playlist, they had 3 stages. There was an Invisalign main stage, the Epiphone stage, which is a product of Gibson Guitar, and a business insight sessions, and they also had a live clips. Their goal was to create this virtual experience and enable people that could not be there to actually watch this event. And we had 4 different areas. So actually, you want to take let's actually look at the video.
We can play this.
Play the video quickly, so you guys get a better feel for what actually happened. So these are clips from different stages throughout the event that we're filming live. There was probably 10 hours of programming each day. There was actually a pool party and a concert Saturday night out at the pool. And so what we did is, and I actually need to check my notes, is for each for each stage, that live content was coming into our platform, and there were a host of destinations. Majority of them are on YouTube. Hollywire TV, What's Trending, Shay Carl, Tricks and Clothes, Gibson Entertainment, Epiphone, and then Playlist Live also had 3 channels. So if you just do the math, being able to do that with encoders on site, having a person manage all the YouTube information to schedule the event, the metadata, we do all of that. So one source, LiveU encoder, sent to Joycaster, Switchboard platform, then we syndicated that out. And that's really what our system does, helps with the technical lift and the distribution by allowing that content to exist in the platforms where people are watching it. And one other thing that's actually interesting, so there are also other platforms, not only just YouTube-based platforms, but Snappy TV for live clipping. So they had their production social media team being able to take live clips while the event's going on and distributing those to Twitter so people could see what's going on in case you just missed it. Fire Talk TV was a platform that they use as well. Stream Up. So for Playlist Live to be able to basically take over this event both on the internet and also at the Orlando World Marriott was huge for them. People that were, the brands and entities that were there were able to participate and get their subscriber bases. Some of my quick notes here, like Hollywire has 1.4 million YouTube subscribers. What's Trending has 281,000. Shay Carl has 1.5 million. And so when these events went live, their channels and their subscribers were alerted, and you could see the subscriber viewers just go up because now they're more inclined to tune in people they already follow. And so that's the value proposition of what we really provide as a service.
Now, Rudy, if they had to do that on their own, how many people would they have to have probably managing and creating the different events between YouTube, Facebook, making sure the stream's going to their website as well? I mean, there's a lot more complex equipment that's needed.
Encoders, one thing, obviously, from a distribution standpoint. Bandwidth, being able to leave the venue, being able to support all those encoders. People managing the content, the metadata of the live stream. I don't know. I mean, you figure at least a couple people per stream. So you're talking a staff of maybe between 8 to 10 to actually pull that off effectively. That was all consolidated down to a couple of guys.
Right. So the value benefit wasn't just being able to run around all these different venues, not have to worry about the bandwidth in the hotel to acquire the content, but then being able to simulcast that live out to multiple platforms, because the Playlist Live people have a great following and would have been watching on their website, but being able to also now basically syndicate that content across multiple viewing platforms, increase the number of eyeballs and reach that they probably never would have had before.
And an interesting thing is the year before, one of their partners, there was a concert going on at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. So Saturday night concert, Playlist is like the big event. Prior to that day, earlier in the day, the internet connectivity actually went down in the hotel. They opened up the internet to the users or the fans of the event. So if you think about it, all these YouTubers, all these fans, they are like the internet, right? And so they're uploading and Snapchatting and tweeting and doing all that stuff. The whole internet went down for the convention center, and then it backed its way up into the hotel, like the Starbucks. It was a nightmare. And the brand is concerned with the live stream at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, we're not even live right now. Long story short, we wound up tethering a phone to a laptop, and the stream went on. So this year, it was imperative that that was not going to be a potential issue. So that's exactly why we paired with LiveU. No matter what could have happened, whether they said, hey, we fixed this, we brought in multiple teams, they guaranteed bandwidth at the yin-yang. We just didn't want that to be an option. So the reliability was definitely key for them as an event, because there were bigger brands this year that participated, Invisalign and Epiphone. They put money into making sure that this content was seen.
Right. So they actually utilized 3 different LiveU solos, which is a 4-interface field encoder that bonds up to 4 interfaces. So you had 1 Wi-Fi and 2 cellular.
Actually, it was 4. It was 4.
You did, okay.
It was 4. So there was a pool party that happened probably around 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and so to be able to have the LiveU pack, the camera mounted on a pole, right behind the DJ to get, a good view. So that was the 4th encoder we used that there.
Yeah.
So there are 4 solos. That LiveU was obviously 100% mobile at the pool party. But for the stages, it was a combination between LAN, Wi-Fi, and then the 2 mobile interface cards.
Right. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about how they pulled this all together, or the reasons, why people are thinking more and more about syndicating their content at the same time live to reach a wider audience, and the benefit of getting that better quality stream so that there is no buffering. Because the second someone hits that site, and if it starts to stutter, they're leaving. And so it's not just important to the customer that's trying to stream their content, it's also important to these other delivery sites because they don't want to run the risk of losing their own viewers as well. Oh, sorry.
Hang on. Oh, she has it.
I have a microphone, I forgot. I'm double duty today. We're good, here you go.
How do you counteract or how do you work with the interactivity then with all those different platforms coming back to, does that increase the staff on prem to be watching Twitter and Instagram and all those different things, or do you not worry so much about that interactive element?
So we actually, for the platforms that support it, we have, so chat engagement is huge, right? So you want to make sure that people are engaging. We have a view, so if you're streaming to YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, well, not Facebook, but YouTube, Twitter, what other platforms, we have a view where all that is aggregated to one view, and you can actually see the comments. So Johnny on Twitch is saying this, or Sam on YouTube is saying that, and you as a broadcaster can now engage back and answer that question or reply back to them.
So does that answer your question? You also were asking about maybe people on site and things like that too, or? No, that helps. Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
And that can basically be managed from anywhere then, because it's through one web-based access, yeah. Any other questions?
Sure.
I guess you said you had a LAN, you had cellular, and you had Wi-Fi. Are you bonding all of those bandwidths together, or just for resiliency for battery?
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's a LiveU question, yeah, for
so I'll
sure.
take that. That's actually taking place in the field unit. So yes, all of those signals are bonded together, and then there's also a reliable transport protocol that is actually encoding the video and load balancing that across all the different signal strengths dynamically, so that even if one were to dip out, it's actually going to spread across the others to ensure that consistent stream, as well as adapt the video encoding as necessary. So that allowed Rudy the flexibility to basically run all around the venue and not have to worry, what the signal strength for one carrier is versus another, because he's bonding at least 3 at any given time. For the static ones, he was able to add a 4th interface, which is the LAN connection, which then, of course, added just even more resiliency. Yeah.
And one other thing I like to add is it's not even just the the ability to go mobile with that. Sometimes their internet, the LAN connection could go down, or there could be just a staff doing something wrong. We had one of the audio visual engineers. He plugged a router into the switch that the LiveU was connected to. So now the LiveU pack picked up its own different IP address from this new router, but the stream was still going. So they didn't know this, but we're watching and monitoring all the streams and notice this isn't the right IP. Hey, we alerted guys to go out there and unplug it. Shame on you for even doing that during a live event while the stream's going on. So those are the kind of things you got to think about. That it's not just the connectivity; it's user error as well, cause and effect. Any other questions?
So tell us a little bit more then about why people are approaching you too, not just as, let's say, a platform to syndicate content, but also to help maybe consult on some of these levels. It is about not just about producing a great event, but potentially even being able to measure the effectiveness and the reach.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is so brand. A great example would be Monster Energy. We did an event where their goal was to just go to Twitch and YouTube, right? They were thinking, hey, we want to have this content exist. There's a big car racing event done in London, England, right? Car drifting event. But once we were talking with them, the ability to say, hey, you know what? Let's get some of the sponsors involved. Let's get the drivers involved, right? Where they had this myopic view of just having X amount of viewers that were going to watch it. By getting more and more of the people that are participating in the event to be a part of it, to carry the stream, to host the stream, that just raised the user engagement, user level, the viewership, well more than they could have imagined. And so that's the key. Is really allowing the content to be in places where people are already watching it. And so that's the core importance of what our platform does.
Yep. Here we go. Sorry. Here you go.
Hi, this is a LiveU question. So
Yes.
we're looking at the
So
interface
sorry,
for-
I guess we advanced one more slide, yeah. So you're actually looking at the portal for our online streaming product.
Okay.
And what that in essence does is when you have the encoder, you can simply point it to the specific channel that you're looking to output it into. In some cases, it's a one-touch where you can simply directly link the account, and then from the encoder, when you press start, you're streaming live to your event. In other cases, like with Wowza and Akamai and Bright Cove, there are a few additional steps to link that account. You know, every viewing online video provider has a couple different tweaks, let's say, in terms of conducting a live event. Some of them have to be pre-done. In the case of Facebook, after an hour and a half, they shut you off. You know, there's all sorts of ins and outs. That can sometimes be complex. And then each time you have to go through the motions over and over again. And that's why, you know, it's interesting partnering with someone like Switchboard that can kind of corral all that into one portal and allow users to just connect, just point their encoder, point their solo unit straight to that one account, and then manage it all within one platform. And we're seeing that come up more and more. It's great that I can do quick start, stop my event, have no fear about the quality of the content that's going across, but the fear now is, are people actually watching it? Have they actually been notified of it? Is the investment I've just put into this production actually getting to the right viewers? And now actually being able to maybe monetize that a little bit by being able to go back to the people that have hired you to produce the event, or for the brands themselves to say, yes, we actually did have the eyeballs there. And yes, we can actually quantify who those eyeballs were. And that can be, you know, that can be complicated sometimes. And
one thing we can add is it's super easy to, like you mentioned, the One Connect is you log into the dashboard, you grab a key, you come into the LiveU Solo portal, you hit add, and it automatically pulls and ingests your ingestion settings. So you plug in your camera, you get power, you get Ethernet, or you go Wi-Fi, and you hit start, and it comes to our dashboard, and you're able to select the platform. So it's YouTube, Twitch, you know, Zubo, depending on wherever you want to go, you can actually do that.
So at Phillycam, we actually have the LU200. So is this also compatible with the LiveU Central portal?
Think about it this way. It's essentially at the other end, once it becomes decoded through the cloud, it's an RTMP stream. So you can actually, here you can see, you can set up a custom RTMP stream, so you can actually direct that back in to your LiveU Central. Or in the case of if you're doing a multiple camera shoot and you actually want to go through a switcher, you can point that through there and then do your production and then go back out to your Wowza streaming cloud, for example. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Hi.
If I need to decode the video, have the user password for YouTube or Vimeo or anyone else, do I use one password through your service, or do I have to change the password for every?
So if you're using our product and going through our portal here, for YouTube, for example, you basically are linking your account. So you're going to go through our portal, you log into your YouTube account, and you'll link the two. In some cases, you actually will need, in other online video providers, you might have to copy the RTMP stream and enter that into our portal. But once it's linked, it's now a saved account, and you can select that over and over again. In the case of multicasting, it would be logging into your one Switchboard live account.
Correct. Yep.
And then from there managing it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the same way, like if you ever like authenticated, you know, hey, I want to log in using Facebook or log in using my Google account, that's the process we do. So you go through that process one time, and then once you make that connection, you never have to do that again. So like, and if you've ever done a YouTube live event, you know you have to log into the live control panel, put your metadata information, grab all the information, start the event. So we take that process and consolidate it. So make it easy for you to actually schedule your event in Switchboard, hit go live. We'll go and create that event. We'll pull the analytics back to this dashboard. So you could see from the Switchboard control panel how many people are watching, the metadata that you selected in that event gets published on that side. So our goal is to really make that workflow super easy and super seamless to get done.
Any other questions? So in essence, what we're trying to do is make it easier to get that kind of broadcast quality content that traditional broadcasters would have to go through more of our larger enterprise management platform, and make it simpler to go straight online and try to sort of allow the digital teams to get better and better quality than they have, let's say, in the past with an iPhone and an app going straight to Facebook Live. Now you can actually put a high-end broadcast quality encoder on the front end of it. And we realize that's almost half the battle. In talking with our customers, it's great that they now understand the flexibility and freedom of content they can capture now, and the quality that they can deliver. But now it's getting it to that next level of saying, that's where the future is going, is having better quality content online, but we also need to be able to reach a wider and wider audience. It isn't just one channel we want to go to at a time. It's really about going out to multiple platforms.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with that, comment, and that's the core. That's the problem we're solving is, depending on whatever type of niche content you're creating, it's what platform do I pick, and then once you pick that platform, you're kind of invested into that platform going forward. And so our goal is let's provide a workflow or a solution so you as a content creator broadcaster can not only just pick the one, but then be able to grow your audience on other platforms as well.
Has anybody done multiple simulcasts of a stream to date yet? Yeah.
Where have you streamed to?
At my work at Bookings, we do Facebook Live, YouTube, and live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking to buy new equipment from Livestream. I'm meeting with them tomorrow. One of the problems is Livestream, this new equipment that's great and that's going to work for us, they only have one outgoing signal. And I was like, what? How am I going to spend, drop $80,000 on a new machine and still have to add another item on my budget? So this is actually a really good solution.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal is. So, there's other, obviously, encoders as well. They had that same process, whereas RTMP out, that's where we will plug in. So you provide you with that ingestion information, you switch it to log into your Switchboard account, publish out where you want it to go.
So for your application, though, you're looking to do that all simultaneously, right? Correct. Yeah.
Because I figure, we give the budget to upgrade equipment every 5 years, so I really want to make it count.
Mm-hmm.
And within the last 4 months, Facebook Live has become a thing, so I kind of want to prepare for the next thing.
Right.
So this would be a great item to add on.
Yeah, and then are most of your productions then static in a controlled environment, or are you actually going out and doing remote production?
Most of the time, we're in a controlled environment, but we are thinking about
Right.
Taking it out. But I think for now, we're going to keep it to our two main auditoriums, and then we also have a TV and radio studio where they kind of want to capture the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And broadcast that.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing more and more too, is people were, there were products and solutions on the market, but you were kind of stuck in your static studio environment. And in the second now that you can get out of that and still maintain the connection speed, maintain the quality, people are doing more and more out in the world, let's say, because it does really create more engaging content for the audience to actually feel like they are part of it. At the recent CES show, not a lot of people can go to a trade show like that, and there's a ton of ground to cover, so even if you do go, you can't get a chance to see it. And one of the broadcasters had their studio set up there that they were doing interviews from and broadcasting to their audience, but they realized they really needed to have that roving reporter going through all the halls so they can do, cut to and actually see the products in action and go through it. And having a remote backpack unit or an encoder to add into that stream was imperative, and they were instantly able to see their viewership increase purely because people were getting like a hands-on aspect of actually being there rather than just seeing two talking heads. While yes, you could see the trade show going on in the background, they weren't actually there and able to go around to the different booths and halls. So it's one of those things where once now it becomes part of your arsenal, it becomes easier and easier to think of more ways to use it and do it. Like even for this event, by being able to go all around the pool party and run all over the place, up and down the venue, people at home felt like they had bought a ticket to it and were actually interacting with who they were fans of,
And that was their whole thing is, so Playlist has their site, but this was the virtual experience, right? And one thing I wanted to add is the ability to really bring in different platforms is we have a ability to do a social share. So you're able to say, hey, I have this stream going on. You may have a YouTube channel, you may have a YouTube channel. I can send you a request, and you can accept that request via email, and then hit accept, and now I have the ability to syndicate that content to your channel. So it makes it super easy, just like Claudia said, to get the content out, get it in the hands of other people that have subscribers, and kind of think of them as micro networks as well. If they have this vested interest in the type of content you're creating, why not give them the ability to carry it as well?
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Well, I guess that's it.
Well, no, it's not it. You're on the hook to talk for a little bit longer, or have we gone over time? I don't know. When I look at my watch, I feel like we've talked a little bit too long, but.
So what's the differentiator here between like a LiveU and this solution with maybe a Teradek and a Core solution? Is there some differentiator there to identify?
Well, there's a couple of differentiators when it comes to the Teradek products versus our products. And when we're talking specifically about solo, price is one of them, for sure. This is definitely more attainable to get that broadcast level quality equipment into everybody's hand. But there's also certain flexibility in what I'll be self-serving, the quality. I mean, we really truly believe in our what we call LRT, our LiveU Reliable Transport Protocol. It's our own proprietary kind of special sauce that does the video encoding and dynamically adapts. So it's not just cellular bonding, it's true IP bonding and distribution and ensuring the quality across the threshold. And it truly is taking 10 years worth of advancement in broadcast quality encoding and bringing it to the online market in a more affordable package. In terms of when partnering with different companies like Rudy's and now being able to distribute that content online for wider audiences, we feel a little bit more unique, not just with Teradek, but some of the others, in that while there's the proprietary aspect to our encoding, at the end of the day, we want to make it easy to then output that and distribute that anywhere, because we don't feel like people should be locked in, like such in the case of a live stream, that you're locked into one distribution model, that you have to use all that equipment and you can only output it to one outlet. We see that the idea is about being able to share good quality content with everyone, otherwise you're not going to be able to meet your objectives either, for whether you're on the production side or you're on the brand side trying to get your message out there. So it's really about partnering with key people, such as with all the other online video providers and CDNs out there, that we want to make it, we work with them to develop the API to make it one touch, to make it super simple, that somebody doesn't need to know all the ins and outs of either online streaming technology, understand broadcasting language, that it's really just plug and play. Really just essentially making it super simple to have that high quality in anyone's hand. Whoever's got that camera in their hand is now essentially a great a broadcast quality video journalist, if you will. So Solo's $14.99. You also have to do a $99 a month cloud fee, and that's for the transcoding through our virtual servers. And then it's up to you whatever cellular providers you want to use and have part of your mix for that connectivity. Yeah. Is it cellular only? So no, so it's multiple interfaces. So you have the ability, you have an Ethernet connection, so you can have hardwire, 2 cellular connections, and 1 Wi-Fi. So it's 4, ultimately. If you're roaming, it's 3. Yeah.
And one thing I just wanted to piggyback on the gentleman's question in regards to I think the core, that's more managing of the devices. Yeah. So, paired with our platform, being able to, manage more of the event level. I think that puts the power and makes it really simple, So managing devices is one thing, but then being able to have the multi-distribution, the metadata, the analytics, the syndication piece, that's really what makes it a powerful solution.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that. Within the Solo portal, people probably usually don't have just one. They might have multiple. And within that portal, they can see if it's online, see if it's streaming.
Yeah.
Basically, if the problem is on that first mile or if there's a problem on the CDN side, which 90% of the time it's on the CDN side. Yeah.
Apologies if you're in trouble.
No, it's okay. Here.
Is there a backup or a recording kept in the cloud from our stream? Is there
So that typically is done through
typically the provider,
online
right?
Video provider,
Yeah.
right? So you set up your Ustream account to record your video or your program, that type of thing. It's not something that's stored on the actual encoder. Yeah.
But that's something that we actually have on our roadmap as well. But yeah, typically it's because you're going to a YouTube or maybe even a CDN, you have some type of solution where they're providing the archive, but we've gotten that request plenty of times, and so now that's going to be something we'll add. So post-event, here you go. Maybe it's dropped into an S3 bucket for you or a Dropbox. We're going to integrate with some of the common platforms that people are used to so they can grab their archive and go.
That's a good question.
Very good question.
Any other questions?
Well, cool.
I know Eric's not here, that's why I kind of took over his job to help moderate the session. And I think we're supposed to only go till 4 o'clock, so I don't want to keep people longer. But Rudy and I will be here for a little while, and I know we'll still be inside the exhibitor hall if people want to check anything out and actually take a closer look at it or have any specific questions. Feel free.
Yeah,
Okay?
appreciate your time. You could, obviously go to switchboard.live to learn more, or come see me.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claudia.